This time last year, we were kind of in a state of shock.
I was frustrated, angry.
Something needed to be changed.
It's now a necessity for me to be active.
We wanted to do something, and Colin was that spark that ignited the action.
This country stands for freedom, liberty, justice for all. And it's not happening for all right now.
Colin Kaepernick says, I am not going to stand for the national anthem.
It's really hard to put history in perspective as it's happening. I think that's exactly what's happening here with Colin Kaepernick.
Well, freedom of speech is a complicated situation. We must try to make the country better in our freedom of speech. We must represent people that don't have freedom of speech. We have to put great thought into how we want to apply ourselves and the kind of change that we want to contribute to making.
For me, I wanted to raise my right fist during the anthem because historically, before the Black Power movement, raising of the fist was just a sign of solidarity and resistance against oppression. Whoever wants to raise that fist with me is accepted.
Absolutely can understand why people had an issue with the demonstrations. There was no intention of trying to disrespect the flag or disrespect our country or the military, the people who serve our country. The intent was to get people on this stage, the millions of fans who watch us, to recognize that we are trying to push a message.
Well, I think anybody who misconstrued what we're doing is either not listening or just looking to discredit it. Because not only myself, but the guys around the league were very strategic in making sure that we articulated our stance.
When I look at the athlete of today, I see that they have benefited not only from what we did in the 60s, but what Jackie Robinson and Paul Robeson did before I was on the scene.
This is called unity. Now we're gonna push the needle.
Action has started to change dynamics within the communities and with law enforcement, and now we have to see it through. You've seen guys demonstrate on the sidelines of NFL games, basketball games, have conversations with their state legislators, with Washington, D.C., going out in the communities and trying to bridge that gap.
Before I said anything on a national stage, we met with the commissioner of police in Philadelphia, and then myself and about 4 other players from different teams went to D.C., to Capitol Hill to meet with members of Congress. So there's the big picture stuff, that's your politics, your policies, but there's also work to be done on the ground.
Both of my grandfathers were in the military. My father was a police officer for 35, 36 years. You can't tell a police officer that doing something differently is going to make them safer when they've been able to come home to their families for the past 40 years. If we can show something tangible that, hey, this is safer for both you and the community members that you interact with, then hopefully that they'll be more open to adopting new policies. We've already had kind of the change in culture with the police, how they train, with adopting the guardian mentality more so than the warrior mentality. We also now want to catch up the laws so that they can be in line with what's already going on. And so that's the bigger picture, is making sure that we have a model in the state of Washington, and then hopefully being able to show that to the rest of the country, to other states, saying that, hey, this does work.
If our community utilize the collective power that we have as African Americans, a lot of those things that have happened would not happen. So we have to take charge of our community, make it safe, make it healthy, and we'll be able to face anybody and make them respect our community and conduct themselves in a manner that is fair.
So many athletes are criticized for not having a real social conscience or really standing up. Here's a guy who stood up for something that I think affects a lot of other people and not just himself.
Our athletes of today have to understand how wonderful life they have, the money that they have, the notoriety that they have. If they apply that properly in conjunction with like-minded individuals, they then create a power for change. You have to be involved almost on every level.
I feel empowered. I don't know if I feel hopeful, but I definitely feel I have a voice and a platform and the ability to move something.
We've come so far, but we understand that we have so far to go. And so we're going to continue to push and continue to hope and continue to believe that we can make those changes.